Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is round 6 SLR Tier 1. We're back at it. We're at Saudi Arabia today, the great track Jeddah. And joining me on comms this week is Icewind. Welcome back, Icewind.
Yep, thank you and good evening everybody.
Yep, and I see we've got our regulars in chat. We've got Kit in chat and Bob, so hello to both. And anyone else out there, please do drop a wee comment there. We'll keep an eye on chat. But for now, we're watching HowRC, who is about, I think he's the first guy out there, so let's join on board and see how he does. He does tend to be the first guy out there every week, but let's see what he's got at Jeddah.
Right, so straight on board with him. DRS open on the main straight, breaking a straight line. It's a tight chicane left and right, and there's about 27 corners on this lap, so I'm not even going to try to get all the numbers right here, but let's see how RC does. This is a difficult blind corner where you have to throw the car in. Actually goes pretty well for him, and then it is flat out all the way up to here where you have to lift a little bit. Just lift, not really brake, and then back on throttle again through the S's. And then we're approaching sector 1 split, which is the 32.2 for HowRC. Another banked corner. Once again, you don't really see where you're going, so I just have to trust the car and floor it on the exit. And then once again, another blind corner where you just really have to throw it in. It's actually looking pretty good for HowRC here, so maybe he has actually practiced for this run. Once again, flat out through another DRS section, and the speed is climbing up to 330 kph. Fast chicane, which is not quite as fast as it used to be in 2021 when this track was introduced on the calendar. There's a little bit of traffic ahead of him, but he seems to navigate that well enough and does not hamper him in any way. Final corner. This is the famous corner where Verstappen crashed on the exit here. HowRC manages to navigate it properly. DRS open again onto the line, and it's a 27.6 for him.
Yeah, that's not
and that was very fast. I wasn't really prepared for that, but yeah.
Yeah, tidy lap from HowRC, so first on the board, but we're about to get a bunch of drivers crossing the line. I see a Red Bull out there. Is that Tino? No, it isn't. It is the other Red Bull of Persigilli, about to cross the line. Max crosses the line, that's the 126.8. And I did see Tino in chat saying a 26, what was it, 7 or 2 maybe?
25.7 he said. I'm not sure if that's some kind of... I'm not sure if that's some kind of intimidating other people. Tino is only 0.2 up of compared to HowRC in sector 1, so we'll see what he manages to do in the rest of the sectors. Tino in the middle part of the lap, there's a little bit of traffic ahead of him. I think that's actually HowRC who is ahead of him, isn't it? So hopefully he realizes that and gets out of the way, which he does in the end. So Tino actually got a little bit of a slipstream there from there. McKender sets at 26.7, and I did research, let's say, a tiny bit before this session that I saw 26.3 for Christian. So I saw Persigilli, for example, had done a 26.4 in LOR, but that was about a half a year ago. So the setups probably have evolved a little bit from that. Let's see Tino in the final corner. Will he be able to threaten Christian? And Tino across the line, so it's a 26.4 for him, but Christian on provisional pole, so nothing surprising there.
Yeah, Persigilli making his way for the final corner all the way down to the start-finish line. He goes, let's see his time. It's good enough for P3, so 5 drivers in the 26s. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. All the main guys that we expect a bit at the top of the grid are there already. Touge, though, another driver we're expecting to see at the top end of the grid, just starting. Oh, no, he's on the back end of the sector 2 he's in, yeah.
Yep.
Right on board with him and see how he does for this blind right-hander coming up. Actually, blind left-hander. Here we go. Oh, full, yeah. Oh, and a bit wide. And he gets away with it. He
doesn't invalidate though.
Yeah, he came off the par there, so able to keep that lap valid, but it will cost him all the way down to the final corner. He's about to encounter traffic as well, so yellow flags are showing for Touge. Nice and tidy out of the last corner, and let's see what he's got for this lap. It is a 27.1, so not able to get into 26s just yet.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the 2:26.9, so he lost, well, just about only 2/10 in the final sector there, really. So, yeah, pretty comparable first sector as well. So it's really in the middle sector where he lost time compared to Tino, for example. Yeah. Couple of words, because the session started so quickly, I didn't really get to do that. So Christian is leading the championship. He's also the defending champion from last season. He's 27 points in the clear from Persegili. Christian at 110 points, Persegili 83, and then McAnder at 77. So the Finnish duo for P2 at the moment in the standings is fighting hard. On the team side, McLaren took the lead last time around, and they have 125 points, and Ferrari are at 117. So that's still all to play for.
Yeah, and it's 10 rounds this season, so 4 races left after this one. This is an important race, isn't it? If you want to be a contender for that Drivers' Championship. Christian is starting to build that gap up front, and yeah, we're going to need to see something big from the likes of Persigeli or McAnder today, as Michael Singh crosses the line, 29.9, puts him P12 for now. John Wick is out there, aka Waits, heading up through sector 3 he goes. He can be fast in his day, usually see him in tier 2. This season joining the guys in tier 1.
Looking at the sector time, should be somewhere around Tujan Pep Man. Let's see what he can do in the final sector here. Across the line, and it's a bit behind those guys, so behind the Italian duo of Pep Man and Flash.
Yep.
Once again, Flash a good showing, by the way, early on in the session, so P8.
Yeah, Pep Man
really has done well this season.
Yeah, they actually work together quite well, because they're quite they seem to be quite comparable in pace in most tracks, it seems.
Yeah. Checking who would be the first to go on the next next lap. I guess that's Mex actually in the Mercedes. Mex also one of the contenders, let's call him, usually for podium positions at least, so let's see what he can do today. Currently sitting in P5 with a 26.8. McAnder is just under a 10th ahead of him.
Yep, going on board with Maxan as we head down to turn 1.
Difficult braking zone, this one, and then you really have to cut this first part to get a good run through the second part of the flow chicane of 1 and 2, and then accelerate to attack this corner as well. He runs a little bit wide on the exit there and has to be a little hesitant on throttle to get it going again through there. Let's see what sector 1 says to him after these couple of corners. A bit loose, the car through those S's there. It's a 31.9, so he's almost 1.5 tenths up. And that would put him ahead of McAnder at this point, if he can keep it up.
Yeah, looking pretty tidy so far, yeah.
And blasting the battery on the back straight here. DRS is open. 326 is the top speed there before that, and he's 2 tenths up, so if he can really pull it together in the final sector, he could potentially threaten even Persegili for P3, but all those guys are on laps as well, so let's see what happens after these runs. Mex out of the final corner, and then blasting whatever you have left in the battery across the line, and not it's the same time as Persegili, but separated by, I don't know, like one of the 10,000ths of seconds or something.
Yeah, and interestingly, Christian pulls into the pits, abandons his lap. So he had invalidated his lap time. Who else we got out there? Looks like Tino's the next guy at the top end of the grid to cross the line, so he's heading down to that final corner. We don't see his sector times just yet, but we'll get an idea of his time very soon as he crosses the line. Oh, he's in the pits.
Gonna give that up. Yeah, he gonna mess up the final corner there, hit the wall a little bit. McKender, however, is 2/10 up here, 2.5 tenths up even, so looking pretty good for McKender. Oh, and he's a bit loose through that fast chicane.
And he's gonna come
bit
across.
Of traffic ahead of him.
Yeah, that's Touge. Touge abandoned his lap there. He cut the corner and validated. So a lot of guys struggling as they push their cars to the limit on this second run. And let's see what McKender can do.
Yeah, he was up, but he must have lost a little bit of time through that chicane, and he did indeed. So stays 5th. Improves, but stays 5th. Touche 3/100ths up, but he was much better through the fast chicane on this lap. So Touche, but he would have to pick up almost 5/10ths to be able to threaten McKender here. So that's probably not going to happen. But let's see if he can get any closer. And he is, and a bit doesn't really pick up that traction quite as well as he liked out of the final corner and across the line for Touche. And he does improve, but only by just under a 10th. So both of the Ferraris struggling in the final sector there a little.
Yeah, they'll all get one final go at this, and I think it's gonna get very interesting as we're seeing Pep Batman pulling into the pits. It looks like, did he abandon his run? I think that might be the case.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. John Wick is 3.5 tenths up. He's actually done a really good sector 1 there, so John Wick possibly trying to get ahead of the Italian boys at least, or at least one of them. Let's see what he can do into sector 2. Which comes right after this fast, or actually before this fast chicane, and he's almost 7/10ths up here, so this is looking a bit more like it. He could potentially get ahead of even Touche here if he can keep it together in the final sector. He's a little bit out of battery here early on the straight, so let's see if that costs him some time toward the end of the lap. There's a car ahead of us, but it's a bit too far to give us any tow toward the line, and it's a 26.8, so wow, okay, that's a little unexpected, at least from John Wick. Great lap.
Yeah, great lap from John Wick there. Yep, getting nicely up to speed. Harry RC on a lap here as well, so we'll catch him as he heads into sector 3. One more corner to navigate. Quite an important corner though. It launches you onto that start-finish straight, and yeah, it can be quite hard to hook up. But he does. Oh, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's gonna pit.
Abandons the lap, yep. Who else is out there? Got a few drivers, Larson. We've got the Haas drivers out there. And I think I see a Williams as well. Maybe it's an Alpine actually.
Yeah, nobody really on a lap right now. Mazepin has abandoned this one. And Lars is on an out lap. He is the last guy, first guy to start his final run here. Unless Michael Singh is doing no, he's not doing a lap, so they're just cruising around there. So yeah, I think Lars will be the Lars of the Red Hot Lovers. Difficult to say for me. Anyway, Lars is the first guy to start the final runs, and Lars does not have a time on the board yet.
Yeah, Larson about to cross the line. He is P15 currently. He is up big time on his time, and that lap will put him P13.
So he did another lap on those same tires, but managed to improve. So, yeah, well done to Larson. An SLR veteran.
Indeed, yeah, been here a while.
Yeah, Larson's been here for probably 6 years at least, or something like that. So maybe even more than that. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, Lars in his Alpine on the main straight blows quite a lot of battery onto the beginning of the lap, and then gets it stopped quite nicely into turn 1. Picks up the throttle, and there's a lot of traffic ahead of him through sector 1. So let's see if he can navigate this traffic well enough And do the cars get out of the way? There's at least one Ferrari ahead of him and another Red Bull. So Lars through the S's, and then the traffic will get out of his way. 33.2, so not gonna threaten the front runners on this lap, but let's see if they can actually get a time on the board at least.
Yeah, worth keeping an eye on Eagles as well, who just started this lap. He is, of course, the teammate of Christian. So any points he can bring in for the team today will be quite crucial for that constructors.
Yeah, Eagle was doing well last week in Vegas until he, I think he picked up front wing damage, and then Tuj ended up ahead of him. So I think, like, let's say the, I don't want to call anybody like a number 2 driver, but let's say Tuj and Eagle Ghost are maybe one of the critical drivers to look up or follow for the team's championship, because Christian and McKender seem to be like the number 1 drivers in those 2 teams.
Yep.
Lars out of the final corner and will get a time on the board now, but I think he stays 16th, so he's just behind Michael Singh there.
Okay, and I think the first guy out there on a run of the top guys might be McKender, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Sector 1 time about to come in. Yeah, he's slightly down on a Sector 1 time.
But that's still a good Sector 1 time, and let's remember that McKender lost at least 1.5 tenths in the final sector by being a bit loose in the fast chicane. So if he can keep it together on this rest of the lap, he could still pick up at least Mex and possibly Persegili, because they are just a tenth ahead of him. And McKender is about to hit Sector 2. There's a lot of other drivers on laps as well. We'll see what happens there. McKender is 2/100ths of a second up, and this was much better through that fast chicane. So it's just the final corner for McKender to navigate here, and he could potentially jump up to P3 here before the Persegili and Mex will have their response left. McKender out of the final corner, and let's see if it is enough across the line. 26.5, and it's not enough. He's 2/100ths behind those guys, so stays 5th.
Yeah, we also got there Tuj about to come across the line. He's headed out.
Pep Man, wow, 6th.
Nice, yeah, nicely done from Pep Man. Into the 26s he goes. Tuj hitting the wall in the final corner on the exit. This might be a good lap nonetheless. Cross the line, he
whoa,
does
good.
improve. 3/10, just over 3/10. Yeah, we got Christian as well.
Oh, Persegili, wow,
Oh,
look
yeah,
at that.
missed that, completely missed that. Christian, he's crossed the line, so that's it for him. 20. He was not able to improve. So
And Mex
Persegili,
across the line, improves, stays 4th. Let's see. Tino is the only one.
He's involved in.
Oh, and he is not. Yeah, so Tino is not gonna take pole today. I think that 25.7 he was talking about might have been some kind of intimidation to the guys. I at least feels like that to me. It would not put it past Tino to play a little bit of mind games with the boys. But yeah, Persegili kind of out of nowhere, 26.1 and takes pole position ahead of Christian. That's a lap and a half.
That's a statement, as Lapson would say. Yeah, impressive stuff from Persegili, who is being crew chief today by none other than Kit in chat. So yeah, the dynamic duo strike again. Pole in the bag for Persegili. Finish P1. And then we've got the Danish Christian in P2. And yeah, we were talking before, Tino definitely has him with a shout at winning this race. He does seem to be up to pace. And then we've got Max McKender Tuj as well, who cannot be counted out. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty good race.
Yeah, this will be a really tactical race as well, because I honestly think like anybody out of that top 8 have enough race pace to hang on in the DRS. And because of the nature of the track, you have these very long flat out sections where you get kind of distant tow from the cars ahead. You will be able to follow quite easily, yes, as long as you're even somewhere along the same pace as the drivers in front of you.
Yeah, and safety cars, obviously these types of tracks, safety cars are never too far away. Although, I have to say, in Tier 1, We've seen a lot of incidents, but not a lot of safety cars. I mean, the most we've got is a bunch of
Yeah.
VSCs. I did put it out there to the drivers as a suggestion that we up the setting to standard for safety cars, but did not get a good reception, so it's still on reduce for this one. But maybe this is a
Yeah,
track.
it was strange the last 2 weeks with the virtual safety cars, but I don't think that's really been an issue before, unless that's some kind of a new bug in the game again. I wouldn't really put it past it either, but we'll see, I guess.
Kit
This is
saying,
definitely one of the tracks where you usually get safety cars, but
yeah, definitely, yeah. Kit and Chuck, Christian tried to poach me from Persigilli today. Bob's saying he should start charging.
No. Charging for SLR crew chiefing, that would be something. Anyway, onto the formation lap, and let's see what the tire choices are for the people. So everybody except John Wick on medium tires and John Wick on hards. Okay. So he will try the contra strategy there, and he might be a bit under pressure on the opening laps from behind on those softer mediums, which will get off the line better, and let's say the first 2 or 3 laps probably are going to be pretty good around here. Yeah. But tactic-wise, I guess we're once again expecting the usual medium hard. I suppose that's it. Although I'm pretty sure I checked the top tiers of PSGL and WOR and those. There were some people who did like 2 stops here, but I'm still expecting most of the drivers to go for 1 stop here. So Persigilli, Christian, Tino, top 3 on the grid. Mackinder from P5. Let's see what kind of a start can he conjure up this time, because Mackinder, and we talked about this with Christian last week as well in the interviews, that Mackinder always seems to make magical starts off the line. So let's see. Yeah. Let's see if he can do something today again.
Quite a short run down to turn 1 though on this one, so we will.
Yeah, and it's a very tight one. Like you don't really have a lot of space to go side by side through there. So yeah.
Very fast formation lap from Persigilli and co. But they are about to take up their grid positions. Well, is there any real advantage to the starting position of P1 here? Because I'm seeing Christian on getting that inside line. That might be crucial.
Yeah, you can kind of send it down the inside, especially if you're at the front of the grid, because there is nobody ahead of you that you can crash into. So you can send it and go, push the other guy a little bit wide and try to take the position. So let's see how the front runners decide to run this one, and how RC gets disqualified. So he will get a little bit of a penalty on the start by starting about a meter or 2 behind from the grid slot.
Okay, here
in
we go.
P9, but anyway, here we go, and we're about to get the start lights on the screen. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are go for SLR round 6 here in Jeddah actually, and Christian does get a pretty good launch, but doesn't manage to do anything special in the turn 1. Mackinder is possibly up to P5, so once again Mackinder has managed to make a great start from P5, although does Mex actually manage to take it back from him? Yes, he does, because he got a better run out of turn 3, and we are on to the S's for the first time on this lap. John Wick has managed to hold on to his P8 on those hard tires as well, which is pretty crucial for him. And is it actually so that nothing really happened in here? So top 10 is pretty much in the same positions as they were in the start there. So pretty tame start, I would say.
Yeah, just saw that instant. Oh, who's this? RC going for a move here. He's very close in the back of Wits. Yeah, Wits on those hards at a slight disadvantage here, as RC actually clipping the wall on the entry of that right-hander, but gets away with it. Yeah, so that we may see John Wits just struggle at this phase of the race, but more laps he can go and hold this position, the better for him in the long run. as we see
Ooh,
Eagle going cutting the track there a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if he got a warning for that already early on. He was a bit.
Tino on Christian here on the outside through the final corner. He hangs it tight, and Christian and Tino side by side all the way down to the start finish line here. Who's going to come out on top? Tino is not letting up here, but it looks like Christian able to defend that position there, so that could have been crucial for the for the race win here.
Yeah, Christian had a little bit more battery than Tino. Tino could not use any more than he did there, so that's why he had to stay in third for now.
Yeah, we saw last week Tino and Bailey kind of elbows out. Bailey coming out the worst for her, but it just shows you Tino. I mean, if you're planning a move on him, or he's going to put a move on you, he will force his way through. He will not play nice. Hard racing all the way.
And that's what you would expect from an esports driver as well, I think. So Tino struggling a little bit now here with that, because he had to use a lot of his battery to try to make that move there. So he's now 8/10 behind Christian on this occasion. Let's see, does Christian actually want to take the lead on this lap from Persigili, who is still leading this race? And Mackinder pretty close behind Mex, but nothing doing on this occasion. Mackinder, although wants to deploy quite a bit here on the back straight, but yeah, he is unable to do anything here on this lap. Christian stays second for now, but let's see, does he want to take that P1 on the start finish straight where we are coming right now? Christian does not really deploy that battery, so he chooses to stay in second for now. And behind, yep.
Yeah, I saw Phoenix Gecko going for a move there, but actually it's Mazepin's going for a move, and Phoenix Gecko, they're side by side, coming out of turn 3, I think that might be, and turn 4. This is not somewhere you want to go side by side, and the Haas takes evasive action, but Mazepin's up to P12, Phoenix Gecko down to P13 for now.
Yeah, it's a bit questionable for Mazepin to keep that position if he went off the track completely, and once again he goes off the track completely, so probably should let this go, which he does. So that's good sportsmanship from him.
Yeah, Tino is starting to fall back a little bit ice here, almost the 1 second range, but he seems to get it under control for now. But yeah, he definitely doesn't want to lose contact with the front two guys. And Christian is all over the rear end of Persigili here. Is he setting him up for a move down to the final corner? I mean, where is optimal to pass here? You know, because there is a DRS straight on the start-finish straight as well.
Yeah, it's definitely the start-finish straight if you could just get the run out of this final corner, which he doesn't really do, because the Christian kind of tapped the wall a little bit on the inside there, and he's deploying now onto the main straight. Persigili does not really have a lot of battery left, but it's enough to defend from Christian for another lap, so Christian still stays in second. Didn't really get the run on the out of the final corner, and then we have John Wick and Hawarsi for P8, and Hawarsi once again trying to get past John Wick and still does not manage to do so. But Hawarsi being pretty racy here today, actually, so, and staying or keeping Eagle Ghost behind him for now.
Yeah, and I think there's a good opportunity coming up for Hawarsi because John Witt is struggling to maintain that 1 second gap to Pep Batman, so may become vulnerable in these DRS zones. But he's managed to get himself back in there now, and there's something happening with the Haas of Vince. Mazda Vince has dropped down a couple of positions there, so didn't see what happened. Lars the Red Hat Lovers, though, up from last position to P13, so he's coming into his own here.
Christian is really closing up massively on Persigili on that zone, but Persigili has managed to save quite a lot of battery there by doing that, so I think Christian once again will need that really good run out of the final corner if he wants to overtake Persigili on the main straight. Tino about 8/10 away on this lap, so he's maybe clawing that gap a little bit back. And once again, Christian kind of struggling to get that traction out of the final corner. Persigili just does he once again have enough battery to defend this on the main straight, because Christian does not want to use full his full charge into turn 1, so Christian still stays second. Surprisingly difficult to overtake, Chief.
Oh, RRC goes into the wall. That was a bit of a clumsy
Oh.
move from him. He tried to go down the inside in turn 1 for John Waits, but that was very clumsy. And he almost lost the wheel there. He lost a lot of front wing in the process, but lucky to get away with that. But he will drop down the order quite fast here as Lars of the Red Hot Lovers 6 seconds behind, but we'll probably catch up very quickly on RRC. We will need to get to the pits quickly. That was a big moment.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there.
Yeah, that was very clumsy.
John Wick spins, and there's almost a massive crash, but I think they were somehow ghosting to save Flash from that. He was headed straight for him because John Wick was sideways through the banked left-hander at the after sector 1 split, and somehow they did not crash there. Wow, that was that was another moment and a half. Sorry, Chief, to cut off you there.
Yeah, I missed that completely there, but yeah, it looks like some drivers are struggling at this phase of the race. Lap 5 at 25, only 1/5 of the way through this Grand Prix. Oh, and it's close, yeah. Christian goes for the move on Persigilli, so he doesn't wait for that start-finish straight, but he is going to come under attack here from Persigilli. And this is what we were talking about, isn't it?
Exactly, Persigilli gets the DRS into turn 1. Christian doesn't want to give this up, though. Tries to hang it on the inside. There's not really space to hang it there, and he has to stay for another lap in P2 for now. Great fighting from these two.
Yeah, that was great racing there.
And this has allowed Dino, Max McKender, and Touge once again to close up on this battle. So the top 6 are all together as Hawarsi and Mazevins both into the pits.
Yeah, and John Waits getting past Fleisch there for P9, so he's coming back into this race after that incident earlier on in the previous lap.
Oh, an Eagle Ghost almost dropping it in the same corner. That seems to be a really difficult one at the moment. On I don't are people really struggling on their tires so much on lap 6 already? Because Eagle almost did the same thing as John Wick did the lap before, where he just kind of just dropped it and went sideways in the long left-hander at the after sector 1 split.
Yeah, it
seems to be no grip there.
Yeah, and you can't get greedy, can you, with the throttle? You think you'll just eke out a wee bit more, and sometimes it goes over.
Chief, we have a big battle for the lead possibly here, because Dino is very close on the main straight. He looks hungry but doesn't seem to want to deploy after all. Into turn 1, Christian closing in and going in the inside. Does he brake a little bit too late? But he does manage to stop the car just about. Doesn't really have a lot of battery to defend from Persigilli, but does manage to take that P1 in the end. But he is going to be under pressure for the rest of the lap here, because if you look at Dino's and Persigilli's battery situation, it's much better than Christian at the moment, because Christian had to use all of that to get alongside and ahead into turn 1.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a desperate move, which we're not used to seeing from Christian, but obviously he wanted that P1 position pretty bad, and now he has both Red Bulls behind him with a lot of ERS in the tank, so they are going to come back at him, I would imagine, by the end of this lap.
Yeah, Christian has managed to save a little bit at least here, but now he's gonna have to get through these flat-out sections of the long straights with DRS for the cars behind, so Persigilli will definitely close this up. Dino also with a high amount of battery in the tank, and then Max and McKender and Touge also following, and Pepman still hanging on just about within that 1 second, and we have once again car off in that same corner, so that is really a difficult one today.
Yeah, Mike Helsing was the victim that time around in the Haas, so he drops down the order. But I'm going to go back up front because we're heading on to the start-finish rate, and look at how close Tino is on the back of Persigilli, as Persigilli uses a lot of boost just to protect himself there. But yeah, Christian holding on to P1 for now. That was some move though from Christian into turn 1 on that previous lap, I have to say.
Yeah, it looked like he's just gonna go straight with the with the brake smoking, but he did manage to stop it in the end there. John Wick.
Yeah, what's happening here? Eagle Ghost was off track there, so John Wick which is up to P8, so Eagle having an issue. I don't know if they came together there, but yeah, lots of battling throughout the field here, Ice, which is great for us.
Yeah, and on board with Eagle goes through sector 1, and he seems to be not really a lot of grip in the car at all. Let's see, they come through the difficult left-hander, which is turn 13, and yeah, they really have to tiptoe around there not to lose the rear end of the car there. And this time around, Eagle Ghost does at least manage to navigate that corner through safely. Persigili makes a bit of a hash out of the fast chicane there, and Tino is close but does not want to deploy anything on this straight. Persigili is really close to Christian now.
Yeah, and what are we looking for pit window-wise, Ice?
Yeah,
you know?
I was thinking about the exact same thing, and what I was going to ask you what you think about that, but I really don't know. I'm maybe lap 10 or something?
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah, lap 10, 11. Onto the hards for the rest of the race, unless there is a safety car. But yeah, this is getting pretty spicy at the top end here.
Yeah, and I wonder if everybody is just a little bit out of tires at the moment, and that's why there's a bit of a lull in the action, and nobody really has the grip to send it on the inside after those. Oh, and Persigili sliding through that corner quite a lot, but does manage to hang on to that Red Bull for now.
Yeah, Kit and Chad is saying safety car risk is high, and lap 11 to 15 he says for hards.
That long, okay. So I guess the wear is not that high, but it just seems that there's no grip for anybody on track. One guy I have to bring up, Pep Map Man. He dropped out of DRS like 4 laps ago or something like that, but he's still only 1.8 seconds away from Touche and doing really well in P7. Still sort of dropping John Wick on those by now better hard tires. So Pep Map Man running a great race in P7 at the moment.
Yep, he's on his own, but sometimes that's alright. I mean, especially a track like this.
So we have a pit stop, I think, for Mex and Makander. Mex had just dropped out of DRS there, and then decides to pit. Makander follows him into the pit, so these are some early pit stops for the hards. These, however, should go to the end from here.
Oh, and look at
and it was really close, actually, yeah.
Yeah, they were actually ghosted into each other there, but yeah, it looks like orders restored. Max comes out ahead of Makander, and they will have themselves for company there, so...
Yeah, and I have to say I have no idea about the strength of the undercut on this track, but I would expect it to be pretty strong considering all the sliding and all the troubles that the cars ahead of us have had. For Touche, this is a bit of a problem because he is now alone, 2 seconds. Oh, and Touche actually clutters the wall pretty bad there on the exit. And he's lost a bit of his front wing. Oh my word. Did he? Or am I seeing things?
I think it looks okay to me, I think.
No, okay, I'm seeing things. It really looked like from that angle that he had lost a piece of his front wing on the right-hand side, but he seems to be fine, so cancel that idea.
Yeah, let's see Christian come through the final corner, bringing through Persigili and Tino, who's going to pit. It looks like Christian's going to stay out for now, and it looks like we've got Tino into the pits. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out with regards to the likes of Max and Makander. And is Makander going to go for a move on Max? No, he's just following closely through the final quarter. Where will Tino come out? He's already left the pit box. We should see Makander in the background with Max. Yeah, this is going to be close, but I think Max and Makander actually are going to jump position here on Tino. It looks like it's going to be close. Oh, there's a safety car out. What's going on?
What? Where did that come from? I completely missed that.
Oh,
it must have been crashed somewhere. I was kind of looking at the race director, so we have a safety car from something. I have no idea where that is from.
Yeah, it looks like Mazevin's had an issue there, but I'm not sure where. Larson as well dropped from the session, so starting to kick off here. And I mean, the guys who pitted, oh, this is going to be difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christian and Persigilli will
Proper.
get a pit stop under the safety car, which is an advantage. But we're going to have to see where it all shakes out after they get the pit stops underway.
Yeah, I think this is a disaster for Mextino and Mackinder, or at least they will definitely be behind those leading cars. But yeah, proper old man duo moment there on comms, because we completely missed whatever happened to Mazepin. I thought he, you know, I don't know for what reason, but I thought he retired in the pit lane, and then I was quite surprised to see the safety car.
Yeah, I was watching Tino, and he came out of the pit.
Yeah.
So there was the safety car right there.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, let's see how this turns out now. But I think what this basically means is that Christian Persigilli definitely will stay ahead of this duo. But I think the likes of Pep Man are too far to be ahead of these boys.
I'm looking at Waits in P4 currently. He might come in for those mediums, but they're going to be
yeah, I guess they're going to be really bad at the end.
Yeah. Christian does come out in P1 then, as we expected. Persigilli P2, and then it's Max, then Tino in P4, and then both Ferrari boys.
Yeah, this was perfect for Christian and Persigilli, so they also have fresher tires now. Max, Mackinder 2 laps old, Tino 1 lap old, and then Tuj also 1 lap old tires, and Pep Man did not manage to jump anybody. He was just too far behind those guys to jump them. But yeah, John Wick is gonna struggle on those mediums to the end of the race, so Eagle Ghost at least has a great chance here to get up to P8. And I guess we're gonna go under safety car for a while, because Michael Singh is only on the main straight right now, so this will be a couple of laps, Chief.
Yeah, let's talk about house prices in Monaco.
I think only Joel can really talk about that. He would have the facts. I have to say I have not really looked into that, but I do remember him talking about I don't remember what it was, but he had all the facts about that.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got 2 drivers on medium tires, Waits and Larson. I wonder if Larson's actually back in the session, because I saw him drop out. He's ghosted actually for me, so
yeah, he's probably not in.
Yeah, that might not be an actual pit stop from him. It might have been forced by the AI. Forced him onto the medium tire, so maybe he hasn't got it. I think he started on mediums, so...
Yeah, he did, so he has not even filled the rule yet.
Oh no. I might send him a wee invite back, but he might not want to come back knowing that.
I can try to do that as well, because...
Going offline for me.
Let's see if he's online, actually. Larson, I don't see him. Oh, I see him online now, so he's just come back. I will try to invite him back. Let's see if he can get back in the session.
Yeah,
but it is a bit of a disaster for him.
If he can get back in the session, he might have. It might be worth pitting for loose hards.
Yeah.
Under the safety car, otherwise he is going to have to pit again, and that's going to put him a big disadvantage unless there is another safety car, of course.
Yeah. And he would be in a great position if the AI had decided to actually pit for the, the sensible tire instead of another set of mediums, which I don't know what strategy that is, but it's not the right one.
Yeah, so we have mixed up the order a little bit with Tino in P4, now Max P3. And Pep Matman, yeah, you were mentioning him. He is looking very pacey today, but he will have his hands full of weights on those mediums for a few laps. They will feel like gold. They'll probably be the best and fastest tire out there, but that advantage will wear off pretty quickly. So Pep Madman on 1 lap old tires in a really good spot here.
Yeah, and I think Waits' only strategy would be here to try to harass him into dropping out of DRS from the faster boys, and through that to be able to follow him and maybe try to challenge for that P7 toward the end of the race. Safety car is in this lap, so for Larsen, unfortunately, this is kind of a disaster. I'm not sure if he's back in the car now.
Yeah, I think he might be. The car is solid. Which makes me wonder, is ghosting off? Right, not go ghosting.
I don't know, but let's we'll worry about that later because we're about to get the restart now, Chief. So I can't really see anything because the result tower is in the way, but we're in the final corner. I think Christian did still not go for it, and let's see where he decides to open the game up. He leaves it quite late, and there he goes now. Persegili is not quite awake behind him. Mex instead is, and wants to challenge Persegili into turn 1. Is he going to try to send one down the inside here? And which he does, and there's a bit of darting around in the background. Waits is trying to get past Makender, actually. Makender surprisingly under pressure here, so did Makender have some sort of an issue at the restart there, because he is now behind Touge as well, and we have the second Haas retiring in the pit lane there, so that's not going to be a safety car at least.
Yeah, I think Waits. Oh my word! Makender had a big issue there. He railed on the curb.
Oh my word!
That was a big moment from him. But Waits now up to P6, so making full use of these medium tires. And yeah, that was a big moment from Makender there. I'm surprised he was able to hold on to it. As Waits now onto the back of Touge here. So yeah, these medium tires are on fire at the moment.
Yeah, Makender really has not had a great time at this restart, because he's lost 2 positions now, both to his teammate Touge and John Wick as well, who is looking rapid on those medium tires. He's looking a way to get past Touge here, and no way, of course, here through this fast section there. He cuts the curb a little bit too much there. Lucky to get away with that one. Phoenix Gecko picks up 3 seconds. He's actually the only car on the grid who has a penalty at the moment. And through the final corner we go, and John Wick is a bit low on battery, so I don't think he's going to be able to mount the challenge into turn 1 on Touge on this lap. Although I might be wrong, because he is really closing here on the main straight. And is he going to try to send one down the inside into turn 1? There's not really a lot of space there. He doesn't really get alongside enough to really get a move on there, and he's going to try again out around the outside. There's not really space around there, and oh my god, was that some kind of contact as well there? At least I saw bits and debris flying all over the track now, and now Waits is under pressure from Makender behind him through sector 1, and there is a yellow flag. Larsen is out of the session, and does that amount to some sort of a safety car? I don't think it does.
Yeah, and look at that as well. Touge with that defense.
Oh my god, Makender almost dropping it again in that same corner. There's just no grip in that corner. It's like really hesitant to go on throttle, and still he just got wheel spin in the middle of that in the Ferrari. So Makender really struggling there.
Yeah, I just got a glimpse of that in the background as I was watching John Waits. Makender saving it twice in 2 laps.
Makender actually under pressure from Pep Madman here, because Pep Madman is looking hungry. He's got quite a lot of battery as well to possibly challenge Makender here, and breaks really late, almost runs into the back of Makender there into the final corner. John Wick is going to be under pressure here on the main straight. He doesn't have any battery left, so Makender is going to breeze past him, and let's see if Pep Madman also manages to join the party outside. On the outside, tries to break late. I think John Wick might just about be able to hold on to this. Pep Madman sticks his nose in there and tries to keep it in as well, but John Wick keeps P7 for now.
Yeah, Pep
Madman has picked up a penalty as well.
Yeah, you saw that cut there in real time, and that led to another warning. Enough for a penalty for him. Also, Tino got past Max while that was all kicking off. He's up to P3, so back into the spot he started in. And still in the DRS range.
Tino is really low on battery though, so he's going to have to be careful here in the middle sector to hang on to that DRS train ahead of him. And if the guys ahead of him know about this, then he might they might attack here and drop Dino out of DRS, because Dino is still at 20% here.
Yeah, and he's using as well,
Yeah, and McKender seems to have now got back up to speed. He's back in DRS range of his teammate Touche through the middle sector. McKender sliding again there, so McKender not really enjoying that setup, it looks like, in the Ferrari at the moment, and Dino has just about managed to hang on to that DRS train.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, and that was crucial, wasn't it, to keep up with his lead 2, but he does need to get some ERS management, which is difficult whenever he's trying to keep that DRS range intact.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag, yeah.
That's
Christian. Oh my word,
Christian
this is huge.
I did not see what happened there. Did you see? Did he just draw? Was there some kind of contact? That he's completely missing his front wing, so...
Oh my word, and he's dropping down the order. He's down to P11 already. This is horrific. This is a nightmare for him in terms of the championship. He does have a cushion up front in the championship, but yeah, this is just not what he needed. And Percy Gilley takes the lead of this race with Christian dropping down to pretty much last.
There?
Yeah, he's no front wing, so this is huge. This is huge.
I have no idea what happened there. I'm gonna look at the... let's see if there's anything in the... And there is really nothing in the race director either. So what a strange situation. Did you see anything at all? What happened, Chief?
I saw nothing, no. But I'm wondering if Kit did, because I know Kit he's with Percy Gilley, who would have got a front row seat for that. Yeah.
And Percy Gilley. Yeah, go for it.
I was just gonna say all I know is it happened in a turn 1, turn 2 sequence.
Yeah, so I wonder if there was some kind of contact, because you would not be, normally you would not end up in the wall in turn 1, and I did not see what happened there. So Dino has managed to once again just about hang on in DRS, and then Mex in third is the third guy. Still with this fight, McKender and Touche, or Touche and McKender in that order, have dropped out of the contention for the podium at the moment. And for Percy Gilley, this is looking perfect, because he is the second guy in the championship, and if he can finish like this, Christian currently out of the points completely, so he's gonna need a safety car to actually get back to the points here. He's too far back to catch anybody otherwise.
Yeah, he's opted for another set of hards in the pits, but he will come out massively behind the points, as you quite rightly pointed out. And I think John Waits is starting to struggle here as well. These mediums on lap 6, starting to see their better days in the past now.
And we have some info, Chief, in chat about the situation with Christian. So Kit says he went just straight on for Percy, and looked like maybe there was some kind of a pedal or technical issue for Christian.
Oh dear.
So no contact, just some kind of an possibly a technical issue for him.
That is unfortunate, but of course it blows the championship wide open, and Percy Gilley on for some great points today. He's already broken that DRS range to Tino, so Tino's struggling with ERS management, I think, and Percy Gilley is using his to great effect.
Yeah, I think Dino is still... what happened to Dino here is that he had to use all of that battery, you remember, early on, after the safety car restart, and he hasn't really been able to charge that back up since then. He's now 1.4 seconds away. He lost about 5/10 last lap to Percy Gilley. So Percy Gilley looking good here for that P1, and Mex fighting to follow Dino here on those 1 lap older tires, and then Touche and McKender. McKender really surprisingly struggling here at the restart. I wonder if he has some kind of small damage in the car or something, because he looked pretty good in the opening stint on those mediums, but the hards have not worked out for him at all.
Yeah, and it looks like Tino is making some incremental gains there on Percy Gilley, so that battle for P1 is not over. And I'm watching the Eagle go some weights as well, as there's a battle for P7, but also RC and Cognito Flash for P9 in the background are also battling quite hard. They're running
Yeah,
very close together. I think something's going to kick off here, Ice.
Yeah, and Dino has also dropped Mex out of DRS now, so the front trio is are all without DRS at the moment. And I wonder if Touge and McKender could somehow work together to catch up to Mex, who has now dropped out of DRS, as Eagle Ghost makes that move on John Wick, at least for one straight. He does not have enough battery probably to defend this from John Wick, who has DRS toward turn 1. And is Eagle Ghost going to be under pressure from Pep Matman behind him as well? Into turn 1, that's a little bit of a too late. That's not Pep Matman, it's actually Conigliato Flash. So just forget about the names that I'm speaking here. Anyway, that Aston Martin Hawarsi actually makes a very opportunistic move on Flash there and up to P9. So great fighting here for P7.
Yeah, great to see this action in the mid pack, and up front it's big gaps galore. 1.6 from P1 to P2. 1.8 from P2 to P3, and again 1.8 P3 to P4. McKender holding on to his teammate for dear life.
And Touche actually looking pretty strong here. He's gained about 6/10 on this lap to Mex, and they're catching him, the Ferrari boys are. And yeah, Larson confirming in chat that he did not have a great evening today. And we, I guess, concur here in the commentary booth. 1.7 seconds for Touche to Mex, so at least the podium fight is still not completely done, at least. So Touche 1.7 seconds away. Let's see how that, 1.5 seconds away now actually. So let's see how that develops. Eagle Ghost dropped a little bit back from John Wick on this lap, and I'm just trying to see if there's, because there was a lot of fighting on the lap before, but I think everybody has their front wings intact in this fight as well. So John Wick so far doing pretty well on those mediums, I would say, to hang on to P7.
Yeah, he has been known to be a bit of a tire whisperer, so maybe he can do it. Maybe he can get them to the end, but he's going to have a hard time of it because he won't be able to rest too much for the rest of this race, because he has 3 drivers all vying for that P7 spot.
So Christian still in P11. He's 24 seconds behind this quartet of cars. So the only hope for Christian is here that there would be some kind of an incident between these guys to get any points. I think it's almost too late to get a safety car. I think we can still get basically a safety car on this lap or maybe the next lap, but then after that it's gonna be too late.
Oh, RRC looking for a move here on Eagle Ghost, but decides better of it, going for the blind left-hander there. Yeah, I think this battle for P7 is going to go right to the end of the race.
Still 1.5 seconds behind Mex. Mex has once again, on the other hand, managed to claw a little bit back to Tino, 1.3 seconds away. So the battle for the podium is still raging on. Persegili, however, has just went off into the distance. He's 3 seconds in the clear, and I think the only job for him now is to bring it home, protect that win, and close up the championship to Christian. And he will actually be really close after this race if it stays like this and Christian doesn't score anything.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like. And it looks like Christian is way off P10 right now. He needs some, like you say, some incident to take place. And I mean, it can happen because Waits is sitting on those old mediums, running this train, and Eagle Ghost is looking pretty fast at this point of the race.
1.2, 1.1 seconds away now from Mex, and has also a little bit more battery than Mex here. So let's see if he can catch up. And it was almost down to 1 second, the gap there, but it's still 1.1 for now.
Oh my word, Eagle goes scraping the wall there, no damage done. He's clattered the wall a few times here, but he's obviously pushing very hard to try to get this position on John Waits. 3 laps left after this one, and Eagle might, if he gets a good run out of this corner, he does have a bit of ERS to play with as well, but might be too far back for now. But as we saw, it is better to do the overtake and the start-finish straight.
Oh. Mercy looking a bit feisty in the background there, and Eagle Ghost has to defend a bit to make sure that Mercy doesn't send one down the inside, and Eagle Ghost does get a pretty good launch out of the final corner. John Wick, however, does have some battery to defend this with, and Eagle Ghost will close up. And has to go on the outside, and let's see what he can do around there. John Wick, I think, will be able to defend this. Eagle Ghost doesn't really, it was not really space to do that, just kind of tries to push him out of the way, so does not manage to get that done. And that's, this is the only chance for Christian. If these guys trip over each other, then there might be some points for him left in this race.
Yeah,
Touche, by the way, has yeah, exactly. He has caught up to Mex. So let's see if the Ferrari boys might still be able to surprise the Mercedes driver for P3 today.
Yeah, I'm looking at the constructor side. He's got 2 Red Bulls in P1, P2, but obviously Tino is reserve today, so his points won't count towards that. But Ferrari looking brand for P4, P5. If they can get that P3, P4, that even better.
Oh. In Eagle Ghost, John Wick really struggling with traction out of the chicane there, and this is kind of a terrible place to go for an overtake, but I think he might be forced to try to do that. And is it going to be side by side through here? And John Wick really has lost all grip in those mediums now and has to also make way for Hawarsi, who picks up position from John Wick as well, and he's going to close up to Eagle Ghost. Is he going to try to send one down the inside into the final corner? Not really, but it was thinking about it for a little while. And onto the main straight, Eagle Ghost does have some battery to defend this one, so I think he should be able to hang on to P7 for at least this lap.
Yeah, but it looks like John Witz is going to go for a move down the inside. He does. He gets the move done. Oh, and RC is not giving up, so side by side from turn 2, turn 3. John Witt's holding on to P8 for now, and Flash picking up a penalty in the background. Oh, Tino's off. Tino is off.
Oh, and what has happened to Tino there? He has maybe did he ride the curb or something that McKender did earlier in the race? So Tino is down to P5 behind both of the Ferrari boys now. So Touche kind of out of nowhere and is now actually 3rd and challenging possibly for P2 soon.
Yeah, Percy Gilly looking like he has his race sewn up. 7.2 is the gap, but Max, the reserve, P2, and he's got two red cars behind him, looking very feisty.
Yeah, and the fight for P7 has kind of settled down now. So John Wick has completely run out of tires now, and he's really struggling. He's lost 2 seconds to Eagle Ghost, and he's really playing this well for Eagle Ghost, because now Eagle Ghost can just sort of drive to the end, and he's under pressure now from Hawarsi, who picks up that position from John Wick, and then the Aston Martin of Flash completely cutting the chicane there.
Yeah, he clattered against the wall there. He's lucky to get away with no damage.
Final lap starting for the leading boys. Touche wants to try to make a move on Mex. Does not really quite manage to get alongside and locks up the rears a little bit there and has to get out of that move. McKender trying to also find a way through on this final lap. So this could be a big finish for all of these guys. And John Wick, what has happened there? I think he has actually picked up Hawarsi back from for that P8.
Oh, but they're side by side going for turn 4. No, he opts out of it. That is a wise decision there. But yeah, it's all kicking off here at the front end of the grid as Percy runs away with it. Max under big attack. Tino going for a move there on the Ferrari. He gets the inside line and gets past McKender momentarily.
Oh, and a little bit of a wheel banging there for those boys. They're good friends, and but big rivals on track it seems. And Tino has a lot of battery to defend, try to attack McKender here on the final lap. Let's see if he wants to do that. Percy Gilly, however, has completely dominated this second stint and is gonna win this race by almost 10 seconds. Touche versus Mex. Gonna be really a photo finish here for P2. Probably Touche is deploying everything onto the back straight, and is he gonna get alongside? He's gonna have to go around the outside if he wants to make this move stick. And who is gonna get DRS toward the line here actually? And Touche is through, but did Mex get DRS toward the line? Does he have enough battery to take it away from Touche? Touche gets P2, Mex 3rd, Tino takes P4 from McKender. So Mackinder P5, Pep Batman comes home in 6th, stays 6th even with that penalty. Eagle Ghost will take P7, Howarsi and John Wick another photo finish across the line. Flash is also there. Howarsi picks up P8, John Wick 9th and Flash 10th in the end. And Christian comes home in P11. So no points for Christian today unless there are some penalties ahead of him. So a bit of a disaster for Christian, and would be interesting to see what actually happened to him there in turn one, where he just went straight and lost his front wing, and we still have Phoenix Gecko to come across the line.
Yeah, I can't remember the last race that Christian did
No.
not score points or be on a podium. But yeah, what a win from Percy Gilly. That was quite the performance for him, and we're getting some intel in chat saying Percy had been pulled 5 laps ago to slow down a little and manage his tires. He did not listen.
So that's through Max Verstappen-esque or Sebastian Vettel-esque move right there. So Percy Gilly, really a dominant win. Touche comes home in a triumphant P2, and I think that's a pretty good shout out for driver of the day right there. Max third, Dino picks up that 4th from Mackinder on the final lap there after dropping it a lap before, possibly riding that curb a little bit too much. Mackinder 5th. Pep Batman, a good finish for him as well, P6. And then Eagle Ghost brings some points for McLaren at least. In P7, Howarsi P8, also a good race from Howarsi today, and it already looked in qualifying he was up to pace today. John Wick P9, and Flash picks up the last point in P10. Christian 11th, and the last finisher of the day, Phoenix Gecko in 12th. Yep. 4 DNFs today.
Great race from the guys. So let's have a gander who's in the interview channel. I'm
also going to take the race director. If anybody's watching the stream and you need this afterward, just drop me a message. I've photoed the race director if somebody should need it after.
Let's see. Hopefully, I would like to speak to Percy Gilly.
I'm kind of out of breath right now.
Yeah, there was a lot happening at the end of that race. Let's bring in Tino though. Tino was part of that drama. Tell us, Tino, what the hell happened there in that final lap? No, maybe he's not there. Tino, are we? Oh, okay. Maybe not ready for an interview yet. We'll bring in Max, who's just joined the interview channel. Max, how are you doing today? Another great race from you, but the podium remains rather elusive. Still, what happened there?
Nobody wants to talk to us. I can't hear anything at least.
Yeah, I thought it was me there for a second, but...
No, I don't hear anything either, so... Dino is asking, did we say something to him, and he didn't hear anything, so what? I wonder what's going on there.
Try
so,
again.
Let's try again.
Hello, Tino, can you hear us? No?
Could it be something with the channel? Maybe we go to another channel or something.
Yeah, let's try.
It's like Joel's channel.
Okay. Hello, Tino. Can you hear us, Tino? No. Weird. Very weird. Yeah, having some technical issues here. Stick with us, we'll try and figure it out. That's very strange. Kit, can you hear us? No. Ice, can you hear me? I don't think anyone can hear anyone now. So apologies for this. We'll try and get it sorted out. I'm gonna actually disconnect and reconnect. Hello. Nope, nothing. Okay, we've lost all connection on Discord, but let's see if we can figure this out. Yep. Right on my end. Don't know what this is all about. I'm gonna gonna try one last thing. There we go. Let's try this. Yeah, but what a great race. Would love to speak to Christian. Don't know if he wants to speak to us or if we can even speak to him. But we will try and arrange that. Let's have another go at this. Yeah, still not working for me. Awaiting endpoint. Sure. If your connection even maybe a region. Okay. So it looks like maybe it's a Discord issue. Can we switch servers? We will try one last thing. Server settings. Okay, we're having serious issues here. Yeah. Yeah, no idea. No idea. Yeah, no idea. I've lost ice. I've lost issues connecting to Discord. Yeah, so there is an issue on Discord. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other way we can work this. I don't even know if I can. Yeah. Oh yeah, so I can hear myself on stream, but I can't hear anybody else. So let me try disconnecting again. Yeah, it looks like a Discord issue. Just at the right time too, just as we're heading to interviews, of course. Thankfully it didn't affect the race itself. Yeah, but there definitely is an issue with Discord, so we may not be able to get to the interviews today, unfortunately. We will have a look in general chat. Yeah, there does seem to be an issue with Discord. Yeah, lots of. Let's see if we can pick out some comments in chat. Tino, I gotta go night shift. Please interview quick. That's not happening. Christian saying he has no idea what happened to him. Yeah, GG to Percy Gilly on the win. Change server. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to wrap this up, but I think we're gonna go with twos for driver of the day for this one, and unless we can fix the issue with Discord, we're gonna have to wrap it up there, unfortunately. One last try. Let's try. Nope, it's not working. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up there. But it was a great race. It all kicked off there in that final stint, and Tier 1 delivered once again. Very interested to see how that affects the standings. And yeah, we're going to head into round 7 with a very tight and very interesting Tier 1 championship on our hands. It's going to go down to the wire. Only 10 rounds this season. I keep repeating it, but it is huge in terms of points. And these points today for Percy Gilly are going to bring him within touchdown. I think it's going to be 2 points off Christian for P1. McKender as well. Great haul of points today will bring him closer to that driver's title. Bailey Thompson wasn't here today, wasn't able to capitalize on Christian's lack of points today, but yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Next week we are heading to, I think it is Imola for round 7. It is indeed Imola. 1st of April, April Fool's Day, then Australia, Brazil, and then the final race will be Abu Dhabi. So be sure to tune in for that one. Apologies if we weren't able to bring you any interviews today, but Discord did not work, unfortunately. So yeah, tune in next week. We'll make up for it then. We'll do 2 hours of interviews, maybe 3 if you're unlucky. So be sure to tune in for that one. And thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and we will speak to you soon. Okay, good night, guys. Bye bye.